And welcome back. Well, as always on Monday, we have a representative from the Third Mutual Board. And today we have Bert Baum. Always good to see you, sir.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, it's great to have you back. I think it's been a little while since you've been on. So happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays to you and everyone out there.
So you got several things you want to talk about.
Right.
And I'll let you go in the order that you want. But of course, on my top of the list, as is yours, is of course dry rot update, right? So how we doing on that?
Well, the reason I put it top on the list is we have just had a meeting with a consultant that we brought in to look at the overall problem of dry rot in Third Mutual. Let me just explain. I think most people know that dry rot is a fungus.
Right.
And this is a picture of it. It has different stages. This is the spore stage, and this just spreads out into the air.
Does.
So what you need to get dry rot is, although it's called dry, you really need water. If the wood is dry, you're not going to get dry rot. You need water, and usually a temperate climate, and you need oxygen. So we live in an area that's very prone to dry rot, and as people here know, we have it in our community. We have two ongoing programs. One is the Prior to Paint program, and that's every 10 years now. But when they have this program, they detect dry rot and they take care of it, and that's been pretty effective. And we have some special construction projects where we are taking care of bigger problems, mainly in the LH21 buildings, the vertical the kingpins, in the vertical stairways, and in the Garden Villa Association buildings. These are the 3-story buildings in Third Mutual. We have problems with some of the horizontal beams. So we have been spending close to $1 million on this.
Yeah.
So we've hired this consultant, and they've given us just their preliminary proposal for how they're going to do this. And we're really excited about that, because what we've chosen is 20 buildings that are representative of buildings in Third Mutual. They represent about 50% of the buildings that we have. They're all different types of buildings. These consultants who are knowledgeable and who've worked in this community on more short-term, more emergency kind of projects, they are going to look at these buildings very intensively, usually using non-invasive techniques. So they use a medical instrumentation that many of us are familiar with. It's a line with a camera at the end of it, all mini, and they can actually go inside the wood and visualize and look around and see what the extent, if there is dry rot, and what the extent of it is. So they're going to start in January. They hope to finish in March. We're going to have a board meeting on Tuesday, the 19th, and I'm sure that Bert Moldow, people from MNC, will talk about this more. But the really encouraging thing they told us is that in their preliminary scouting around, they said there are no outrageous situations here in Third.
Oh, that's good.
That we have to really get nervous about. So there's no necessity for any kind of emergency repairs.
Okay, well, that is good news.
I just want to caution people that they may have to come into some of the manors, and you will be notified in advance. We don't want to surprise you.
Okay.
So that will be coming up, and we will let you know.
Okay, very good.
So as I said, December 19th, we're going to have our board meeting. That's every third Tuesday at 9:30. You're all welcome to come or watch it on TV. And we're going to deal with 3 resolutions that are in the end of the 30-day period. people may not be familiar with this. By law, we are required to first make the resolution proposing some change, and then allow 30 days for comment periods, and then we bring up the resolution again at the end of the 30-day period and vote on it. So there are 3 resolutions that are now at the end of the 30-day period that will be discussed at the meeting. One involves golf carts. I just want to give you a heads up. We're requiring all golf carts to be registered, and as part of that procedure, you're going to get a free decal. So we want decals on all the golf carts. The electric ones, the plug-in, the ones that plug in the common area will have to pay a fee, and any golf cart that leaves the community would need an RFID. We're putting in gates. These,
that's a good point.
Arms at all,
and a lot of
gates.
them do.
Yeah. So you have to be aware of what's coming up. More details, again, you can get that at the meeting. We also have a resolution on plug-in electric vehicles. That's increasing in the community, and we want to be able to deal with that. We've been planning on that through the Energy Committee mainly for a number of years.
And this is
like the
in
bulk.
addition to somebody having a golf cart. This would be
right,
you know, one of the e-vehicles out. Yeah.
For instance, the bulk.
Right.
And you have to pay a $240 fee if you're going to use it in the common area.
Okay.
If you have, just like with the golf carts, if you use it in your garage, private, that's not an issue. In the common area, everybody's paying for that electricity. Right. So in terms of fairness, you have to pay for that.
Okay.
So that's being finalized at that meeting. And the third policy would be on leasing. I've talked about that before. It's going to be finalized now. We've made some changes. There's no more requirement for a criminal background check or a credit score. At least we're not requiring it, we're recommending it.
Okay.
So we hope that people still do that. You still will have to sign off, as everyone who buys in this community, that you have not committed a felony in the last 20 years, and there's no issue of moral turpitude.
Okay.
So that's where we stand on those. We're going to have 4 new policies, so that would start, that's the beginning of the 30-year period. And they're going to involve changes or more clarification of our alteration policies. So we have one on the care and maintenance of patios, replacement of in the 3-story buildings of personal items, and then we'll have general requirements for alterations as opposed to specific ones.
Okay.
And we'll have standards for air conditioning and heat pumps. So these are all being looked at and changed appropriately. There are also standards for the block walls that go around patios. So be aware of that. I just want to, we're coming to the end of the year. I think this is going to be the last chance for anyone from the board to speak to you about where we are. I just want to review some of the things we've done. We feel we've had a pretty good year. Okay, there have been problems, but we think we're on top of most things. The things we're proud about is the installation of solar panels. We think that's going to save our community $240,000 a year. We've installed LEDs in 81 of the 3-story buildings. That's going to save us about 20 to 25% and get improved lighting. In maintenance, we have a waistline remediation program. We're trying to prevent blockage. As I said, we have the dry ride program. We've been able to keep a control on spending. We had an increase in assessments, but it's only 1.4%. That's the first increase in 3 years. And of course, I'm on the communications committee, and we're trying to keep people informed. I recommend that they get the Village Breeze. You can get a hard copy, or you can get it online. And this edition is about the holidays, and you can see everything that's going on in the community in one handy newsletter. The newsletter is written by each of the boards, so this is a board publication, and we try to tell you what's going on.
Very good. And like as you said, if people can choose which way they want it, if they wanted it electronically, that's fine, or if they wanted hard copy, that's
well,
good.
we encourage the electronic.
Yes,
that saves us
it
some
does
money.
save money. Yes.
So, as part of this, we wish you happy holidays, and we think we've had, as I said, a good year. We're pretty fortunate. We live in a pretty good community. I think when people step back and look at it, I think they realize it. And this is a good time to be happy and thankful where we live. It's a good time to reach out to our neighbors, particularly those in need, to our friends, and we encourage that. I think that this is what makes this community so interesting and so good and worthwhile.
Yeah, very well said. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays.
You take care, and
too.
remember, folks, that tomorrow is the regular meeting of 3rd, and we'll bring that to you live at 9:30. We'll be right back.
Good.